Very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1 live and direct from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. Bringing you the news, I'm Jadavdin.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara. Here are your headlines for tonight.
Serious doubts over Namal Rajapaksa's law degree. Minister Nalinda reveals in Parliament.
උපාධි සහතිකෙන් කුත් කළ තිබෙන 2009 සැප්තැම්බර් 15 නමුත් ඒ සහතිකයට අත්සන් කරපු වයිස් චාන්සලර් උපකුලපතිවරයා ජූලි 23 වෙනිදා ඉල්ලා අස්වලා තියෙනවා.
Lawyer Manoj Gamage responds for Namal, says Vice Chancellor signed for entire batch before leaving office.
මේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ වයිස් චාන්සලර් වලයා ඉන්න වෙලාවෙදි තමයි මේ උපාධි ප්‍රදානෝත්සවය සැලසුම් කරන්නේ. ඒ වසරේදී සම්පූර්ණ කරපු සියලු දෙනාගේ කියන්නේ දහසකට වැඩි පිරිසකගේ සහතිකපත් සියල්ල අත්සන් කරන්නේ මේ වයිස් චාන්සලර් වලයා.
Investigations against Ranil to conclude within a month. Indictments in higher court. ASG Dilip Patel's court. Resolve Trinco issue peacefully. Court of Appeal orders site inspection. President meets TNA MPs. And down to those stories in detail. In your top story this evening, a serious suspicion has emerged regarding the educational qualifications of Namal Rajapaksa, national organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and Member of Parliament. This revelation was made today in Parliament by Minister and Chief Government Whip Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, who also tabled several related documents.
වැදගත් කරුණක් මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව අවධානය යොමු කරන්නට කැමැති. අද උදෑසන සිට අපේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව නියෝජනය කරන පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රී නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මහතාගේ නීතිඥ භාවය පිළිබඳව ඔහු නීති උපාධිය එංගලන්තයෙන් ලබාගත් ආකාරය, ඒ නීති උපාධි සහතිකය සහ නීති විද්‍යාලයට ඇතුළත් වීම පිළිබඳව වෙබ්සයිට් ගණනාවක ලිපි පළ කරලා තියෙනවා.
I would like to bring the attention of this House to a very serious matter. Since this morning, multiple websites have published articles concerning MP Namal Rajapaksa over his legal qualifications, from where he obtained them, and also the certification of the said qualification, as well as how he enrolled with the law college. Investigative journalist Nirmala Kannangara had exposed these details. One is that the certificate that Namal Rajapaksa had obtained from the City University of London was produced to the University of Sri Jayewardenepura to enroll in a master's program. The certification was issued on the 15th of September 2009. However, the Vice Chancellor who placed the certification had stepped down from his post on the 23rd of July that year. The said Vice Chancellor has placed the certification as the Vice Chancellor 54 days after his resignation. Therefore, the media has raised serious concerns with regard to the law degree. Secondly, one needs to sit for the law entrance exam at the law college. Those with law degrees that are accepted worldwide are given the opportunity to sit for the exam. However, the City University of London, do not mistake it for the University of London, registered with the law college in October 2009. However, Namal Rajapaksa, who claims to have obtained his degree from this institution, applied for the law college exam in September 2009 on the 25th. The law college accepted his application on the very date it was submitted. However, even at that time, the City University of London was not recognized by the law college. It was only recognized on the 15th of October 2009. These media reports have raised concerns on this as well. The third matter is that according to the MP, he possesses a Bachelor of Law with Honours Class 3 degree. However, with a Class 3 degree, one cannot register with the legal bodies in the UK. All these reports, namely the mystery of Namal's law degree, no degree certificate in Namal's law college file admission, and others will be tabled. I hope MP Namal Rajapaksa will appear in Parliament even after lunch and provide an explanation in order to protect the dignity of the House and its members.
මීට අදාළව මේ තිබෙන වාර්තා the mystery of Namal's law degree, no degree certificate in Namal's law college file admission breaches entry rules ඇතුළු ලේඛන ගණනාවක් තිබෙනවා. මම මේ සියල්ල සභාගත කරනවා. මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ගේ සහ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ගරුත්වය ආරක්ෂා කිරීම සඳහා ගරු පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රී නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා ලංචකෙන් පස්සේ අර සුපුරුදු පරිදි ඇවිල්ලා මේ ගැන පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් කරයි කියලා. බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
What did the documents tabled by Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa contain?
The documents included an investigative article edited by Nirmala Kannangara on the Examiner's website, along with other supporting information.
What issues do these documents raise?
The primary concern relates to the degree certificate submitted by Namal Rajapaksa for admission to the Sri Lanka Law College in 2009. To enter Law College, one must either pass the entrance examination or hold a law degree from a university recognized by the Law College. Namal Rajapaksa bypassed the entrance exam and gained admission based on a certificate claiming he had obtained an LLB degree from City University, London. The certificate states that Namal Rajapaksa was awarded the LLB degree on the 15th of September 2009. It bears the signatures of the Vice-Chancellor Malcolm Gillies, Director of the LLB program Claire Tithan and the Registrar Eamon Martin. However, Malcolm Gillies had resigned from his position as Vice-Chancellor on the 23rd of July 2009, nearly 2 months before the certificate date. He is now a professor at the Australian National University in Canberra. According to his response, he has no knowledge of signing any certificate after his resignation. City University London also clarified that certificates issued after July 2009 were signed by Vice-Chancellor Julius Weinberg, not Malcolm Gillies.
Were there other issues highlighted in the documents?
Yes, several irregularities were noted in Namal Rajapaksa's admission process to Law College. Based on the City University London certificate dated 15th of September 2009, Namal applied to Law College on the 25th of September 2009. His application was accepted, but he was registered as a student on the same day. However, Law College officially recognized City University London only on the 15th of October 2009, 3 weeks after Namal's admission. Additionally, when Namal applied for a master's program in criminology at the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, the same certificate was reportedly not verified.
Key questions raised by these revelations.
Is the certificate submitted by Namal Rajapaksa a genuine document? Did he actually complete the LLB degree at City University London? Was the process followed by Sri Lanka Law College in accepting his application in line with proper procedure? An urgent press briefing was convened on behalf of MP Namal Rajapaksa, where Attorney at Law Manoj Gamge, spokesperson for former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, responded to the allegations.
The government, fearful of the upcoming rally on the 21st, is attempting to use various tactics. There is already a case under examination, case number B42852. If you call the CID and inquire whether they had verified if this university certificate was genuine or fake, they will respond. Therefore, these baseless claims being brought to Parliament today are absurd. We state with responsibility that the authorities themselves have confirmed there is no issue whatsoever with Namal Rajapaksa's degree certificate. Regarding the Vice-Chancellor's signature, they claim the certificate was signed after he left office. But here's the reality. When a student completes a foreign university degree, the graduation ceremony is planned months in advance, often 2 or 3 months. The Vice-Chancellor signs all certificates for the entire batch, sometimes over 1,000 graduates, not only the one of Namal Rajapaksa while still in office. By the time the graduation ceremony takes place, the Vice-Chancellor may have stepped down. What's more concerning is how these details were obtained. This is a serious issue because releasing information related to an ongoing court case to private parties is unlawful.
පෞද්ගලික පාර්ශවයකට කොහොමද නිකුත් කරේ? මේක බරපතල ප්‍රශ්නයක්.
Member of Parliament D.V. Chanaka expressed his views on the matter during today's parliamentary session.
දැන් 21 රැස්වීම දැකලා අර ගැරඩින්ට භූමි තෙල් ගැහුවා වගේ තමයි ඉන්නේ.
Now, after seeing the rally planned for the 21st, it is like pouring kerosene on a snake. You all brought this up when this government came to power. You spoke about his law degree back then too. At that time, you did not just sit idle, you went to court. You filed a case under Magistrate Court number 1. Case number B42852/01/25 regarding Namal Rajapaksa's degree. Now, MP Nalinda Jayatissa says something very simple. Instead of creating fake websites and using them to sling mud, why not take these facts to the CID tomorrow? Then they can report to court. What happened instead? You held media briefings and went to Magistrate Court number 1, but until today, you haven't reported any facts to court. Not a single update has been filed. Yet, every time you get a chance, you come here to Parliament and sling mud.
හැබැයි වැටෙන සැරේට මෙන්න පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඇවිල්ලා මඩ ගහනවා.
MP Namal Rajapaksa attended a religious almsgiving ceremony held in Kandy to mark the 80th birthday of his father, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa also participated in the event.
Lawyers for Truth and Justice held a media briefing today to express their views on the situation surrounding Namal Rajapaksa's academic qualifications. The full report will follow later in tonight's bulletin. Meanwhile, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is currently out on bail over allegations of using 16.6 million rupees in public funds for a private overseas trip, will face trial in a higher court once investigations are completed within a month. Additional Solicitor General Dilip Piris informed the Colombo Magistrates Court of this today. He made this announcement during the hearing of a motion filed by former Presidential Secretary Saman Ekanaika seeking permission to travel overseas. The motion was taken up before the magistrate this morning.
Appearing on behalf of Saman Ekanaika, President's counsel Kalinga Indathisa requested the court to temporarily lift the travel ban, stating that his client wished to visit his daughter abroad, who is preparing for childbirth. However, Additional Solicitor General Piris objected, noting that Ekanaika is a key figure in the case, having approved funds for Wickremesinghe's controversial trip. He further revealed that investigations are 99% complete and that the prosecution intends to file indictments in a higher court based on findings. Piris also informed the court that inquiries are ongoing regarding an invitation letter submitted to the court allegedly issued by the University of Wolverhampton, which Wickremesinghe cited as the reason for his foreign visit. Following these submissions, Indathisa withdrew the request for overseas travel, considering the court's observations and the prosecution's stance. The case was postponed to the 28th of January.
Members of the Tamil National Alliance met President Anurukumar Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat today.
The special discussion was held at the request of TNA parliamentarians. The focus of the meeting was primarily on provincial council elections and the issues arising in the northern and eastern provinces.
The President assured us that since local government elections have already been held, the provincial council elections will definitely be conducted next year. He also promised that a process to address the Tamil national question through constitutional means will commence immediately, likely starting in January, and that we will be kept informed about its progress.
Newsfirst with the people.
The Coastal Conservation Department had granted a 7-day deadline to remove a restaurant constructed along the beachfront in Trincomalee town. However, tensions arose when a group from Colombo attempted to intervene, claiming that the location belonged to a temple.
As of today, the situation has been brought completely under control. Newsfirst made a special revelation on this matter yesterday. Here is another disclosure regarding the same issue today.
A temporary hut was erected under the pretext of constructing a Dhamma school building, and a Buddha statue was installed allegedly to create tensions in recent days. This is the land in question. In reality, this land has housed the Dutch Bay Coffee restaurant since 2023, operated by L.T. Pereira, who is a relative of Deepani Liyanage, the United National Party's Trincomalee electorate organizer. It is claimed that the restaurant operates with the approval of the Sri Sambuddhatwa Jayanti Bodhi Raja Viharadayaka Sabha on the basis that 1/4 of its income is contributed to the temple. This controversy began when the Coastal Conservation Department issued a 7-day deadline to remove the restaurant. A group from Colombo intervened, involving the chief monk of the Bodhi Raja Vihara, and announced plans to build a Dhamma school before the deadline expired. During this period, a Buddha statue was installed, escalating the tensions.
What is happening now?
Today, several parties from Colombo expressed their views to the media. Meanwhile, the Dutch Bay Coffee restaurant, located slightly away from the disputed site, has been closed.
What happens next?
A document has been presented confirming that in 2014, under the signature of Mahinda Rajapaksa, this land was granted to the Sri Sambudhatwa Jayanti Bodhi Raja Vihara as a donation. According to a survey issued on the 15th September 2008, under the signature of then Land Commissioner V. Murugadas, the land measuring 40 acres was state-owned at the time. The survey report clearly states under the other remarks that no construction is permitted on this site. Although the land was donated to the temple as a sacred site, the Coastal Conservation Department retains authority under the 100-meter coastal buffer zone regulation introduced after the tsunami. Under the Coastal Conservation and Coastal Resources Management Act No. 57 of 1981, the Coastal Conservation Authority has full jurisdiction to intervene. The first intervention regarding the construction of the Dutch Bay Coffee restaurant occurred in 2023. Records show that on the 10th July 2023, the Coastal Conservation Authority granted permission to erect a temporary structure for 1 year from the 13th July 2023 to the 13th July 2024. Subject to strict conditions. The permitted construction area was limited to 127 square feet along with 12 additional regulations. The decision to remove the restaurant was based on allegations that these conditions were violated. In 2016, during the Yahapalana government, approval was granted to build a protective fence around the land provided it did not obstruct coastal access routes or fishing activities. Violating this condition also contributed to the decision to dismantle the structure. Against this backdrop, the Coastal Conservation Authority ordered the removal of the restaurant as an unauthorized construction. Following this, the chief incumbent and the Dayaka Sabha appealed to the Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, Kamal Rohitha Uduwavala, who rejected the request. This rejection was formally communicated in a letter dated 16th October. The 7-day deadline to remove the Dutch Bay Coffee restaurant was issued on this basis. Meanwhile, Indu Pereira, a relative of L.T. Pereira, who operates the Dutch Bay Coffee restaurant, posted a controversial Facebook statement. We report this after verifying its authenticity with Indu Pereira. Excerpt from the Post.
This incident in Trincomalee that stirs up racism. I feel this more deeply than anyone else in this country. The reason is that this disgraceful act was initiated by my elder brother, his wife, daughter and son-in-law, who started a restaurant on the beach years ago. My brother is truly a venomous opportunist, someone who once worked on the Pearl Cruise ship and smuggled prohibited items to Jaffna to sell to the LTTE, earning money, and gave information to the military to kill JVP members. His wife is foolish, arrogant and willing to do anything for personal gain. She even contested for the local council from the UNP and got 12 votes. The unauthorized construction was done during her period of influence. Now, when the authorities enforce the law, they use religion, robes and politics to stir up racism. As someone who knows this incident A to Z, I appeal to the people of this country. Please do not support rebuilding racism in this small nation.
End of excerpt. Regarding the land claimed by the Sri Sambudha Jayanti Bodhi Raja Vihara in Trincomalee, the Court of Appeal scheduled the hearing for the 16th December to consider a petition seeking an order to prevent the enforcement of a directive issued by the Coastal Conservation Department to demolish a section of the temple premises. The petition was filed by Venerable Trincomalee Kalyanavansa Tissatera, the chief incumbent of the Trincomalee temple. The case was called before the bench comprising Justices Dhammika Ganepola and Aditya Pattabandi of the Court of Appeal. Appearing on behalf of the petitioner under the instructions of Attorney-at-Law Suredri Singha, Counsel Shane Foster informed the court that the land on which the temple stands had been granted as a donation by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. He pointed out that on the 18th July, the Director General of the Coastal Conservation Department had issued a letter ordering the removal of unauthorized constructions on the said land. Counsel further stated that although an appeal was submitted to the Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, the appeal was dismissed without granting the petitioner an opportunity to be heard or to present facts, which he argued was contrary to the law. Representing the Director General of the Coastal Conservation Department, Deputy Solicitor General Manohara Jasingh informed the court that an approval plan exists for the temple premises. He emphasized that any new construction beyond the approval plan is unlawful and that the Coastal Conservation Act empowers authorities to remove such unauthorized structures. Justice Dhammika Ganepola observed that the matter should be resolved amicably. He suggested that officials from the Coastal Conservation Department visit the site, inspect the constructions and determine whether any irregularities exist. Both parties agreed to this proposal and the court directed that the site inspection be carried out and observations submitted before deciding on further steps. The judge has also instructed both parties to maintain peace and avoid unnecessary disputes until the process is completed. The petition is scheduled to be taken up for hearing on the 16th December.
At the Sri Sambuddhata Jayanti Bodhiraja Vihara in Trincomalee, the chief incumbent, Venerable Trikunamalaya Kalyanivansha Thistathera, along with members of the Mahasangha, participated in a media briefing.
We believe this major unrest was caused by sudden interference and actions taken under someone's influence with police involvement. We are considering legal action in the future. Regarding the removal of the shop and the cafe, we lodged a complaint with the CCD because I am the chief incumbent. The shop was built for the welfare of the temple. There was no legal authority to demolish it, especially when we have a deed of donation. We strongly oppose this forceful entry and action.
The Northern Eastern Sinhala Organisation also expressed views on the situation in Trincomalee.
These outsiders like the monk, Balanguda Kassapa and others shown in these photos are not from Trincomalee district. They came here to provoke and create ethnic tension. We will not allow our children to be victims of this. These individuals linked to UNP and other political labels are trying to ignite racism in Trincomalee. We will not permit this. Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim communities here will unite to oppose and drive them out. We do not want racism or religious extremism in Trincomalee. The people here will not fall prey to such agendas. Those making racist and religious statements must leave immediately. Trincomalee belongs to its people and our future generations. Outsiders should know we will protect our land and our way of life.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa has expressed a markedly different stance today regarding the Trincomalee incident compared to the statement he made in Parliament on the 17th of November.
Police have entered the sacred premises and decided where the Buddha statue should be placed. They have also imposed restrictions and issued directives on how Dhamma school buildings should be constructed. How can the police intervene in development activities within a temple that holds a deed of donation and do so in the middle of the night? Whose orders are this? Who is executing them? We urge the government, if you do not understand the supreme law of the land, I will have these statements recorded in Hansard. Please read and understand the constitutional provisions that guarantee the prominence of Buddhism and ensure religious harmony in this country.
සාමකාමීව ක්‍රියාත්මක විය යුතු ආකාරය පිළිබඳව නීතිය දන්නේ නැත්නම් කරුණාකරලා මේක හොඳට කියවලා බලන්නයි කියලා අපි රජයෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා. ඉතින් ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම මේ තත්ත්වය තුල අපි සංහිඳියාවට මුල් තැන දෙන්නට ඕන. සමහරෙක් අන්තවාදීන් බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා.
In reality, we must prioritize peace and reconciliation in this situation. Some extremists are waiting to ignite flames of racism and religious division, creating chaos for their political agendas. We do not share those agendas. We propose a national cohesion committee to prevent such situations from arising and to provide structured solutions. It is the President's responsibility to ensure this.
මේ ප්‍රශ්නයට විධිමත් විසඳුම් ලබා දීමත් ජනාධිපතිවරයාගේ යුතුයකමයි.
While the opposition leader continues to make varying statements on the Trincomalee incident, other members of the opposition are issuing remarks that could further fuel tensions. Former Minister Uday Gammanpilla, who made highly controversial statements in 2019 regarding Dr. Shafi Shihabdeen, now released by court, has today made a similarly provocative comments about the Trincomalee situation.
ජනතාව දකින විදියට සහරාන්ටත් වඩා ත්‍රස්තවාදියා.
As the public sees it, Dr. Shafi Shihabdeen is more dangerous than the terrorist Saharan. Complaints have exceeded 1,000, alleging that this doctor sterilized women during cesarean surgeries. Reports suggest he performed around 4,000 C-sections, with over 25% of those women claiming sterilization. Even if the number is 8,000 surgeries, 12.5% allegedly resulted in sterilization. This is a massive, horrifying figure. Forced sterilization is nothing less than genocide, and the punishment for genocide should be the death penalty.
ජාතියක් ඉලක්ක කරලා වඳභාවය කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒක කෙලින්ම සමූල ඝාතනයක්. සමූල ඝාතනයට ලබා දිය යුතු දඬුවම වන්නේ මරණ දඬුවමයි. වැට කපලා හාමුදුරුවන්ට පහර දීලා බුදු පිළිමේ පැහැරගෙන එන්න පොලිසියට උපදෙස් දුන්නේ අපිද?
Visitors who ordered police to break fences, assault monks and seize Buddhist statues. Visitors who instructed the removal of the Buddhist statue from the Hivera Municipal Council. Did we ban the observance of Pansil at local councils? Visit someone from our party who insulted a female monk using foul language. Was Bimal Ratnayaka who called statue worship tribal, one of us. Was Nalin the Hevage who said debauchery is useless from our ranks. And visitors who proposed removing Buddhism's foremost place from the constitution in an election manifesto. The truth is, President Anurukumara Dissanayake has become the first ruler in Sri Lankan history to have a Buddha statue taken into custody. Even King Ajasatha, acting on Devadatta's advice, never attempted to arrest the Buddha.
දේවදත්තගේ උපදෙස් මත කටයුතු කළ අජාසත් රජතුමාවත් බුදුන් වහන්සේ අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න උත්සාහ කරේ නෑ.
Lawyers for Truth and Justice held a media briefing today to express their views on the situation surrounding Namal Rajapaksa's academic qualifications.
ශිෂ්‍යයෙක් හැටියට නීති විද්‍යාලයට ඇතුල් වීමම නීති විරෝධී අනීතිකයි වංචනිකයි.
Entering law college as a student in itself is illegal, unlawful and scandalous, which is exactly why on the 15th of October the university was included in the list of institutions accepted by the law college. The Honourable Chief Justice must probe this immediately. We intend to file the written petition soon with the Supreme Court. A separate complaint will be filed with the CID as well. Before finding fault in others, Namal and the opposition must correct themselves. We urge the Minister of Justice to probe this immediately. It must be investigated and legal proceedings should be initiated. We accept the principle of presumption of innocence, but it is up to Namal to prove his part in this matter.
හැබැයි ඒක නිර්දෝෂීභාවය ඔප්පු කරන්න.
Estate workers continue to protest against the opposition for opposing the 200 rupee allowance proposed by the government in the budget. Demonstrations were held at several locations today.
A protest was held in Daigama town condemning the opposition for criticizing the 200 rupee attendance allowance that the government is set to provide to estate workers.
எங்களுக்கு கிடைக்க வேண்டியது கிடைக்கும். உங்களால கொடுக்க முடியலையா நீங்க விலகி கொள்ளலாம். நாங்க மலையகத்துல போராடி வாங்கின காலம் போய் இப்ப தேடி வர்ற காலம் வந்திருக்கு. இப்ப தெரியுது யாரு கள்ளன் யாரு நல்லவங்கன்னு சொல்லி. ஜாதி மதம் வேதம் எந்த இது இல்லாம நாட்டின் ஜனாதிபதி அனுகுமார் திசாநாயக அவர்கள் இந்த 200 ரூபாய் சட்டப்படி அவர் சைன் பண்ணிருக்காரு. அவர் சட்டப்படி கொடுத்தே தீர்வாரு.
The estate workers in Nagasena area in Lindula Nura area also participated in demonstrations today.
எங்களுக்கு இந்த 400 ரூபாய் பெற்று கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு முதல் சந்தோஷம். ஏன் எங்களுக்கு தடுக்குறீங்க? என்ன பிரச்சனை? உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்க ஏனாட்டியும் ஜனாதிபதி கொடுக்கறத எங்களுக்கு தாழ்மையோட வாங்கி கொடுங்க சந்தோஷமா.
More demonstrations were held in several areas including Uvaparanagama in Badulla and Balangoda in Ratnapura.
Sri Lanka has secured $39 million debt relief from Denmark.
Sri Lanka has entered into a bilateral agreement with Denmark as part of its ongoing external debt restructuring process. This milestone underscores Colombo's unwavering commitment to achieving debt sustainability and revitalizing its economy. The agreement follows extensive bilateral discussions after Sri Lanka concluded a memorandum of understanding with the official creditor committee. Under the terms, Denmark will extend a debt relief measure by rescheduling outstanding obligations amounting to $39 million. The pact was formally signed by Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma, Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, representing the government of Sri Lanka, and Lars Loke Rasmussen, Denmark's Minister of Foreign Affairs. The government of Sri Lanka expressed its sincere appreciation to Denmark for its continued cooperation, noting that such partnerships are vital to rebuilding confidence in the country's fiscal future.
INS Sukanya, the lead vessel of the Sukanya class patrol vessels of the Indian Navy, made port call in Colombo.
The Indian naval ship Sukanya arrived at the port of Colombo on the morning of 18th of November for an operational turnaround, marking another chapter in the close maritime cooperation between India and Sri Lanka. The visiting vessel was accorded a warm welcome by the Sri Lanka Navy in keeping with naval traditions. commanded by Commander Santosh Kumar Verma. INS Sukanya is an offshore patrol vessel measuring 101 meters in length, designed for multi-role operations including surveillance and humanitarian assistance. During its stay, the crew will engage in goodwill activities with the Sri Lanka Navy and explore several tourist attractions across the island, strengthening people-to-people ties alongside defense diplomacy. The ship is scheduled to depart Colombo on 21st of November, concluding its brief but significant visit.
Wasgamuwa National Park continues to shine as one of Sri Lanka's most vibrant wildlife sanctuaries, attracting visitors from around the country and across the world. On today's episode of Beautiful Sri Lanka, we explore this national heritage.
Wasgamuwa National Park has become a remarkable attraction for both local and international travelers. Situated within Sri Lanka's intermediate climatic zone, the park showcases a rich ecological diversity, featuring tropical evergreen forests, grasslands, swarms and dense croplands, together forming a vibrant dry mixed evergreen ecosystem. Wildlife enthusiasts can encounter elephants, sloth bears, antelopes, spotted deer and even leopards, making Wasgamuwa one of the best places in the country for close-up wildlife observation. Beyond its natural splendor, the park is also home to archaeological and geological sites of significant historical value, adding cultural depth to its breathtaking wilderness.
Beautiful Sri Lanka.
And on to news overseas, US President Donald Trump said yesterday that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman knew nothing about the 28th killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi by Saudi agents, offering a fierce defense of the visiting Saudi Crown Prince that contradicted the US intelligence assessment, while he also delivered these remarks during a press briefing at the Oval Office marking the official visit of the Saudi Crown Prince to Washington, D.C.
The grand welcoming, US President Donald Trump participated in a bilateral meeting with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia at the Oval Office. Addressing the media in the bilateral meeting, he said that Mohammed bin Salman knew nothing about the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi by Saudi agents, offering a fierce defense of the visiting Saudi Crown Prince that contradicted a US intelligence assessment.
Is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office.
We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Just ask Mr. President, you allow me to answer. You know, I feel painful about, the families of 9/11 in America, but, we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden used Saudi people at that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation. That's the purpose of 9/11. So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia is bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism. And we have to approve them all and to build our relation, to continue developing our relation. It's critical in the safety of the world, it's critical against extremism and terrorism. About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or not in a legal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc. in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best
The White House said the two countries signed a strategic defense agreement that fortifies deterrence across the Middle East, streamlines U.S. defense industry access and secures new Saudi burden-sharing funds. The agreement appeared to fall short of the congressional-ratified NATO-style treaty Saudi Arabia initially sought.
So that's why tonight I'm pleased to announce that we're taking our military cooperation to even greater heights by formally designating Saudi Arabia as a major non-NATO ally, which is something that is very important to them. And I'm just telling you now for the first time because I wanted to keep a little secret for tonight. I just heard him say, "Oh, that's nice."
Trump approved future deliveries of F-35 fighter jets and Saudi Arabia agreed to buy 300 US tanks. Riyadh has requested 48 F-35s, a sale that would mark the first transfer of the stealth jets to the kingdom and test Washington's definition of Israel's qualitative military edge. The sides signed a joint declaration completing negotiations on civil nuclear cooperation. Riyadh is seeking access to US nuclear technology but resists Washington's demand that it forego enrichment and reprocessing. MBS vowed to raise Saudi investment in the United States to $1 trillion US, up from a prior $600 billion US pledge, though he gave no timeline.
The Republican-controlled U.S. Congress voted almost unanimously to force the release of Justice Department files on the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, an outcome President Donald Trump had fought for months before ending his opposition. Meanwhile, former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers has resigned from the OpenAI board after Congress released documents showed that Summers shared a close relationship with Epstein.
The yeas are 427, the nays are 1.
2 days after Trump's abrupt about phase, the House of Representatives passed the measure with a vote of 427 for 1, sending a resolution requiring the release of all unclassified records on Epstein to the Republican majority Senate, which swiftly approved it. A senior White House official said that Trump plans to sign the bill when it reaches his desk. The Epstein scandal has been a political thorn in Trump's side for months, partly because he amplified conspiracy theories about Epstein to his own supporters. Many Trump voters believe his administration has covered up Epstein's ties to powerful figures and obscured details surrounding his death, which was ruled a suicide in a Manhattan jail in 2019. During the bilateral meeting with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, US President Donald Trump also responded to questions raised on this issue.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, as far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago, but I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman here. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax.
Jeffrey Epstein was a New York financier who fraternized with some of the most powerful men in the country. Before the House vote, about 24 survivors of Epstein's alleged abuse joined a trio of Democratic and Republican lawmakers outside the U.S. Capitol to urge the release of records.
China's Premier Li Qiang met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Li said China is willing to further enhance the resilience of cooperation with Russia, consolidate and maintain the steady development momentum of bilateral cooperation.
Beijing is eager to uphold the original aspiration of eternal friendship with Moscow, Chinese Premier Li Qiang told Russian President Vladimir Putin during their meeting in the Kremlin. Li said China's determination and position to develop a mutually beneficial cooperation with Russia have always been consistent. He said that in the face of a volatile international situation, Beijing is willing to further enhance the resilience of cooperation with Russia, consolidate and maintain the steady development and momentum of bilateral cooperation. The Chinese premier urged both sides to make full use of mutual benefits like visa-free travel, strengthen public exchanges and understanding, and further solidify people-to-people ties. The premier arrived in Moscow on Monday to attend a meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's Council of Heads of Government, which took place yesterday. During his meeting with Lee, Putin said that close cooperation between Moscow and Beijing in this format helped the SCO's emergence as one of the pillars of a multipolar world order, among others.
Многополярного мироустройства, вовлечению в ее орбиту государств глобального юга и формированию открытой и недискриминационной международной мировой системы.
The encounter between Sri Lanka A and Bangladesh A in the Asia Cup Rising Stars 2025 tournament is currently underway in Doha. Bangladesh A won the toss and opted to field first. Invited to bat first at the end of the first innings, Sri Lanka scored 159 runs for the loss of 7 wickets. Meanwhile, another Group A encounter between Hong Kong and Afghanistan A ended in a 24-run victory to Afghanistan A.
Hong Kong won the toss and opted to field first. Batting first, Afghanistan A lost their first wicket within 26 runs. Mohammad Ishaq scored 38 runs, top scoring for his team, while Imran Mir chipped in with 20 runs and Rahmanullah Khan contributed with 24 runs. For Hong Kong, Hassan Khan bagged 3 wickets. Afghanistan A ended their innings on 140 runs for the loss of 6 wickets. In reply, Hong Kong's first wicket fell within 11 runs. Babar Haya top scored for Hong Kong with 30 runs. Qais Ahmed claimed 3 wickets for Afghanistan A. Hong Kong were restricted to just 119 runs for the loss of 9 wickets, handing Afghanistan A 24-run win. The Maharaja Media Network holds the official local broadcasting rights of the tournament, and all matches of the Asia Cup Rising Stars 2025 can be watched live on TV1 or online at www.sirasatv.lk.
And that's a wrap of your news for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.